History of the Bible, Old Testament. 1. Creation and the Fall. Before time existed, only God was present. He had no beginning and was not created. Then God said, "Let there be light," and the universe was formed. The earth was created with vast oceans and expansive lands. After completing his creation, he decided to make man in his image, Adam, the first human. However, man needed a companion, so God created Eve from Adam's rib. In the Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve lived happily until the serpent Satan tempted them to eat the forbidden fruit from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. When they sinned, they realized their nakedness and hid from God. Punishment was given. Man had to toil for food, women would experience pain in childbirth, and the serpent was cursed to crawl on its belly. Adam and Eve were expelled from Eden, marking the beginning of humanity's trials. Cain and Abel. Adam and Eve had two sons, Cain, a farmer, and Abel, a shepherd. Abel offered pleasing sacrifices to God, but Cain did not. Out of jealousy, Cain killed Abel. God punished Cain, making the ground unfruitful for him and condemning him to wander for the rest of his life. God decided to destroy all living things through a great flood, sparing only Noah and his family. God commanded Noah to build a massive ark and bring 2 of every animal into it. For 40 days and nights rain fell, wiping out all life except for those on the ark. When the waters receded, the ark rested on Mount Ararat, and Noah offered sacrifices to God. God established a covenant with humanity, symbolized by the rainbow, promising never to destroy the earth with a flood again. Descendants gathered to build the Tower of Babel in defiance of God. To stop them, God confused their language, scattering them across the earth. God chose Abraham and promised him descendants as numerous as the stars. He left his homeland to go to the land God designated Canaan. After years of waiting, his wife Sarah bore Isaac, the heir to God's promise. Descendants of Jacob, Israel, were enslaved in Egypt. God called Moses to lead them to freedom. Through 10 plagues, Pharaoh was forced to release the Israelites. As they were pursued to the Red Sea, God parted the waters, allowing them to cross safely before closing the sea on Pharaoh's army. At Mount Sinai, God gave the 10 Commandments and the law to the Israelites, forming the foundation of their covenant with him. And its decline. The Israelites settled in the Promised Land under the leadership of judges like Gideon and Samson. Later, they demanded a king, and Saul became the first king. David, who defeated Goliath, became the greatest king, uniting and expanding the kingdom. His son Solomon built a magnificent temple in Jerusalem, but later fell into sin. After Solomon's death, the kingdom split into 2, the northern kingdom, Israel, and the southern kingdom, Judah. Israel was conquered by Assyria, and Judah was taken captive by Babylon, leading to a 70-year exile. The Israelites returned to Jerusalem, rebuilding the temple and city. However, prophecy ceased for 400 years before the birth of Jesus Christ. New Testament. 1. The birth of Jesus Christ. Jesus was born in Bethlehem, announced by angels and visited by wise men. King Herod sought to kill him, but he was protected and grew up in Nazareth. Jesus. Jesus was baptized, fasted for 40 days in the wilderness, and then began preaching and performing miracles, healing the sick, turning water into wine, feeding 5,000 with 5 loaves and 2 fish, and calling disciples to follow him. 3. The crucifixion and resurrection. Jesus was betrayed by Judas, arrested, tried, and crucified. 3 days later, he rose from the dead, appeared to his disciples, and later ascended into heaven. 4. The birth of the Church. On Pentecost, the Holy Spirit descended upon the disciples, empowering them to preach the gospel. Peter, Paul, and other apostles spread Christianity. Despite severe persecution from the Roman Empire, the Church continued to grow. 5. The Book of Revelation and the promise of Christ's return. The Apostle John received a vision of the end times, divine judgment, and the establishment of a new heaven and a new earth. Jesus promised to return in glory to judge the world and reign eternally. Conclusion. The Bible tells the story of creation, the fall, redemption, and hope. From the Old Testament to the New Testament, God's redemptive plan unfolds through human history, with Jesus Christ at the center of it all. Throughout history, the Bible has served as a guide for faith, morality, and the human relationship with God. It portrays the struggles and triumphs of God's people, their failures, and the ultimate fulfillment of divine promises. Each event and prophecy in the Old Testament points toward the coming of Christ, who fulfills the law and the prophets, offering salvation to all mankind. The New Testament demonstrates how Jesus' life, death, and resurrection provide the foundation for a renewed covenant with God. His teachings, miracles, and sacrifice exemplify divine love and justice. The establishment of the Church through the Apostles marks the beginning of Christianity's expansion, overcoming persecution and spreading the gospel to all nations. The Book of Revelation concludes the biblical narrative with a vision of ultimate restoration, a new heaven and a new earth where God reigns supreme. This final promise reinforces the hope that believers hold on to, awaiting Christ's return and the fulfillment of God's eternal kingdom. Thus, the Bible is not just an ancient text, but a living document that continues to inspire, transform, and guide individuals in their faith journeys. It remains a testament to God's unwavering presence, His love for humanity, and His plan for redemption that transcends time and history.